If you go to Vietnam, you should try durian. I know the smell is disgusting, but the taste may be good.
So this is what I love about Vietnam. We can go in there and we can go and buy like some Gucci or some Chanel.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay premium price, or we can just go across the road and buy the same thing. Saigon is an awesome city. It's pretty crazy. They went up the street that I'm walking up right now, and the tanks went through the gate, knocked it down, and essentially took over Saigon. And that was April 30th, 1975. Welcome to the first episode of a special mini-series in partnership with Explore Worldwide. In this episode today, I'm joined by two of my good friends who are the two first ever people interviewed on a Vietnam podcast. That's Lewis Wright, who composed the music for this podcast, which still gets more compliments than the podcast itself because the intro music is so good, and his wife and partner, Nguyen, who was actually the first ever person I interviewed for a Vietnam podcast. So they're joining me today for this special episode of a Vietnam podcast where we're going to show you what to do in Saigon. So we're going to start right here at Ben Thanh markets. We're going to go for a walk and show you the main touristy things to do in Saigon. We got 6 episodes coming in this mini series. We're going to cover all of Vietnam, so make sure you check them out. Make sure you follow, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all that good stuff. And if you want to join the Vietnam podcast community, go to patreon.com/a Vietnam podcast. All right, let's go check out Ben Thanh markets. I got the famous Ba Ba Ba, the first beer I ever tried in Saigon. It's pretty bad, but I'm wanting to get it for nostalgia. Cheers.
Cheers.
So I got bún thịt nướng, Adrie's got bò la lọ, Kim's got bánh cua, bánh canh cua. You like crab, and Lewis has got
Bún thịt nướng too.
bún thịt nướng as well.
Classic.
So Kim, Lewis, you were the first ever guests on a Vietnam podcast. All the way back in 2019. We're all still here in Saigon, but Kim, you've been here the longest. You are from Saigon. What would you tell a tourist if they had one day in Saigon? What would you tell them to do?
Actually, Saigon have many places to go. Look, where we are here now in Ben Thanh market, so you should walk around, buy some stuff in Ben Thanh market, like the local stuff, like maybe like the nuts, or you wanted to try, Saigon is famous, especially Vietnam, famous for food. In Vietnam, like have so many kind of food, like dragon fruit. You can try, if you go to Vietnam, you should try durian, jackfruit. Why not? I know the smell is disgusting, but the taste may be, good.
Do you eat durian?
I actually eat durian.
You do?
But I don't like it. But at least I try. So, you should try. And after Ben Thanh market, you should try like some local food like us now. Crab noodle, noodle like you eat pork krill noodle, right? So yeah, how the
So good.
the taste is really good.
Yeah. It tastes amazing. The pork is actually quite good. Sometimes you go for pork and it's like quite fatty and stuff. I don't know if this is more for tourists though, because when you get local bún thịt nướng, sometimes the pork, I'd pull the fat off because I don't want it, and there's big chunks of fat on it, but this is actually really good.
It's funny because like maybe in Europe or everywhere, like the weather is much colder and cooler, so you eat in the restaurant, right? But now like you eat in the local Vietnamese, the market, really hot with the fan, you sit in the stool.
It's a hot country, you have hot soup, and you eat it outside in the heat.
With spice.
With spice.
That makes you sweat.
Oh my god.
I forgot
With
to add
the chili,
spice.
it's really spicy.
It's good though, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with the spice though, because sometimes like I add too much. I get too excited, and then before I know it, like we had pho gatron the other day, so like dry pho. And I added too much spice, and it's like, oh my god, you can't take it away. That's a problem.
Him does that every day.
Every
We buy
day.
soup. My broth is like a nice clear color. Kim's is just bright red.
So Neil,
Yeah.
how many Vietnamese food did you actually try?
Oh my god, I don't know. I've not counted. How
Well,
many?
you can
There's a
look
thing,
there
right?
to count.
We had this the other day, massis masa siu,
That is misa siu,
bún chả cá, bát bún chả gà,
hủ tiếu.
bát mì quang.
We don't like hủ tiếu.
We do like hutu.
Hủ chai.
Hutu chai.
No,
The vegetarian hutu. Because we don't eat fish, so we don't eat.
I don't like.
But we've had pho ga, mien ga, bánh bèo, phở bò Viên.
So one thing I think you should try, like if you are the new tourists just come to Vietnam, you should try broccoli rice. It's called cơm tấm.
Well, that's my favorite.
It's really good. And cơm tấm now is kind of like one popular favorite food. You know, like the tourists when they first time they came to Vietnam, they just great thing about pho. Everyone is just think pho is the best, the traditional, but actually pho is from the north. Broccoli rice is from the south.
I don't think I knew that. Or if I did, I'd forgotten it.
Pho actually from the north. And broccoli rice from the south, so you should try broccoli rice.
I do think it's funny that pho is like the main dish that everyone knows about Vietnam, and it's probably my least favorite dish.
Yeah.
Like I never get pho.
Yeah.
It's like the gateway drug to Vietnamese food.
Yeah.
And then once you've tried pho, then you move on to like bún kiet nung, cam tam,
Yeah.
bún bò Huế.
Bún bò Huế, yeah.
You love bún bò Huế, right?
And the bún bò Huế from
Right, but so we're in Ben Thanh Market, which is due for an upgrade soon. Like I think just structurally it's falling apart.
Yeah. No air conditioners.
No air conditioning. I would love to see it be more like this. Food stalls are pretty good, but I'd love to see it be more like less junk, less tat, less touristy stuff. Kind of, I don't know. It could be better, I think. But what was Ben Thanh Markets like when you were growing up? Was it still a traditional market where locals came to get fruit and veg, or was it already a touristy place? Because this is a real market. Like it used to be the central market for Saigon, right?
it used to be like the markets like for the local people like came, but now more and more like tourist attraction.
Your mum still comes here sometimes, doesn't she?
Long time ago, because she had some business, so
Yeah.
she just normally often come and collect the stuff, coffee, or because she know a lot of people here, or like she buys some clothes for that holiday. But now it's just for tourist, like I just said, just for tourist attraction. Tourists just Ben Thanh Market is the place when people like come to Saigon and to find out what is the local market in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Ben Thanh Markets now compared to when you were growing up?
Well, to be fair, like that is a long time ago. From my memory, I went to Ben Thanh Market when I was like 5-10 years old, like
Yeah.
a kid, and I just always follow mom, just buying clothes. But now I just came back, I just see like full of tourists everywhere, tourists like from England, America, India, Korea.
I heard that Vietnamese people love to haggle. You've told me this. Vietnamese people love to haggle.
Really, did I say that?
You had a business. You told me people would just constantly try and bring the price down non-stop.
You gotta come here with Kim's mum. You can
My mom
find
is-
something for like $1, and Kim's mum will just have like this disgusted look on her face. Oh, so expensive.
My mom is better
She's
than me.
amazing.
Yeah, my mom, she's really good at buying.
So they got all the coffee. They got coffee, coconut, hazelnut, weasel. No, thank you. So that's all the food stuff, right? And then let's go down here. What's this one? You want to buy a fake watch?
If you want an ego boost, lots of women will call you handsome. Hello, handsome
I got
man.
excited about that for about a day when I was first here. You get called handsome so many times, and then eventually you're like, no, I know I'm not handsome. It's fine.
You want to buy some coffee and tea?
No, thank you. So coffee, tea, nuts. Lots of jewelry.
You know, fake bag.
Some fake bags. We'll go down
Fake
here.
bag. But if you go around the edge, that's the government shops with fixed price.
Ah.
So if you want like peace of mind, buy from around the edge.
No, thank you.
Yeah, because these are like private sellers, but the outside bits are government.
White t-shirt for you.
YouTuber? No.
I'm a YouTuber.
Oh, they do have a Tom Brady jersey though. Oh. Sorry, I got distracted. How much is the Tom Brady jersey? $800. $800.
$35, $33.
These are the government
The
shops.
government shop.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why it says
Fixed price.
fixed price.
Yeah, so it's a bit safe and they don't harass you.
Mhm. Definitely a bit more relaxed on the
Yeah.
outside. It's more regulated, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It is a cliche to come to Ben Thanh markets, but we came like our first day here. You do have to come. It's cheesy. It's not that authentic because like an authentic market is like in District 4 where they still sell fish and they still sell fruit and vegetables and they're not hassling you to buy a fake watch or a fake Tom
Yeah.
Brady jersey. But it's still a cool place. But I think as a tourist, you come in, check it out, then we go back out. So now we're going to walk down Le Loi Street. We're going to take you to Saigon Square, which is a different market, completely different vibe to this place, right? Then we're going to go check out Walking Street, which will be dead during the day because Vietnamese people don't come out during the daytime because it's too hot, which makes perfect sense. It is really hot today. Then we're going to go to the Opera House. What else? Post office. Oh, it's all here. We're going to go to all these Saigon landmarks. Kim brought this for the special occasion. All right, let's go.
Please, please. Everywhere you go, you always hear the noise. Beep, 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 beep.
Already have.
Have you found it, the noise, crazy noise like that in Europe or America? Not the honking,
No.
Not the honking, yeah. So welcome to Vietnam with the noise, so many noise.
So this street here now has an underground running underneath it, right?
Yeah. This was shut for like years and years since we first arrived. Right where we're walking.
You can see the Saigon Center, and with the next to the really famous building before, it's called what is it say? Go, but now that is not the tourist attraction anymore. For the young Vietnamese people, like especially at the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, they in D1, District 1 we call, they normally they will come to Saigon Center.
The Saigon Center only opened like what, 7 years ago?
16, 17.
Something like that. Yeah. It still seems like it's brand new.
Yeah.
And have a lot of restaurants and cinema, and like for the shopping, famous shopping brand like Uniqlo.
So once you leave Ben Thanh markets, you got to walk straight down Le Loi Street. Bring in Le Loi.
A foreigner always say Lonely Street.
If you say it wrong, it means lonely street.
Oh really?
I learned
Yeah.
that.
All right, we're gonna cross the road. Kim's gonna show us how to do it.
Just keep hands.
Not that difficult here.
Not really difficult here to walk here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Properly.
see? With any noise.
Properly.
All right, so we're about to go into Saigon Square, which is quite different to Saigon
Yeah.
or to Ben Thanh Market. So this place is mostly fixed price, right? It's way more crazier. One of the things where you can see guys out here right now, they're going to offer to clean our shoes when we walk by. How much do you think we should pay to get our shoes cleaned?
Ask him.
I think none of yours need to be cleaned.
Now mine are pretty white. Are any of yours gonna
Louis.
get? Louis?
Mine are a
Me,
little dirty.
me so black so can't see it.
But I love it. They always ask these guys. I watched one video and the guy paid 500k to get his shoes cleaned, and he was like, "Oh, it was such a good deal," and I was like, 500k.
Yeah. Not bad. Hey, good, brother.
Let's go check out Saigon Square and let's see how many people asked to clean our shoes. 4 guys right here. 5, 6,
It's not only one.
6. Not one of them asked. Not one of them offered to clean my shoes. I was gonna say yes, maybe.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna go into Saigon Square.
So this is like, if you want like to looking for like the cheap clothes or bag or anything, so you can come here. One of like the tourist attraction for buying clothes. You can see that.
This is way nicer already. It's
I know, the
aircon.
aircon,
I didn't
yeah.
remember. I don't remember it being aircon.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
why.
aircon.
That's why the tourists they really love it, because with the aircon.
I think Ben Thanh is better for the like cultural tourist experience,
Yeah.
but this is better for
Cultural experience.
actual shopping.
Yeah.
Normally, it's just for good for like buying clothes,
For proper shopping.
the proper shopping. Yeah. So you can see like the difference between the, like in England, the market in England is totally different. Like in with the Vietnam market.
All right, so here's the big question. Do you know the answer?
Yeah.
Are they copies, fakes, or real? Have they fallen off the back of a truck?
Oh my God. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell sometimes. I think they're
God.
fake. The other thing I noticed as well, the
sorry.
only brands that you can buy here are normally like Ralph Lauren, Polo,
You have to believe it.
or Lacoste. All right, so we've just been to Ben Thanh markets, which is like the tourist trap. We've
And
just
the
done
Saigon Square.
Saigon Square, which is just like a 2-minute walk, which is actually really nice. It's aircon,
Yeah.
kind of fixed price, but I think you can bargain a little bit. But really
Yeah.
nice, really bright. It's a bit too tight. You can't really like move
Yeah.
about.
But good stuff to find.
Yeah.
And now we are here in the luxury, expensive shopping center. Yeah.
So this is what I love about Vietnam. We can go in there and we can go and buy like some Gucci or some Chanel,
Yeah.
and we're gonna pay premium price, or we can just go across the road and buy the same
Yeah.
thing.
Literally across
It
the road.
actually like from Ben Thanh Market to Saigon Square and Saigon Center. It's not far.
No.
It's not far at all. Like in the same area.
So when you're having a tourist day in Saigon, check them all out. But the best thing is, Ben Thanh Markets is really hot. Saigon Square is pretty hot. Now we're gonna go in Saigon Center, which is full aircon. Let's go. So from what I understand, there's an import tax from nearly all goods coming into Saigon or into Vietnam. I don't know if it's part of the World Trade Organization yet, maybe not. But that extra tax makes it more expensive for a lot of those nicer goods. So things that would cost whatever, we've seen things on sale here. It's at 50% off, and then Adrie's pulled back the tag, and the normal price in the UK or the West is the same as the 50% off price. And a lot of the goods are made here in Vietnam. What we think happens is they get made in the factory, they get shipped overseas, packaged in the factory, then they get re-imported back to Vietnam into, Reebok or whatnot.
Yeah.
But because they're re-imported back into Vietnam, they get added with a tax. So it actually makes them more expensive. So if you're visiting Saigon and you do want to come shopping, I would think about it twice, because you'll probably get it cheaper in your home country if you're going to buy real brands. If you're okay with buying stuff that might be copies, might be fake, I'm not 100% sure, but if you're okay with that, you're going to get a good deal, right? If you want to come to luxury like Saigon Center, you might get it cheaper where you're actually from.
And like one more thing, like I know that like a lot of young Vietnamese people, they came, example like Chanel, they just came here and like use the sample, try like to get a
No
free
way.
sample, and like they just actually it smells really good, but I will come back later. But actually they just check the price, and maybe if they have like some family member in America or European country, they will check the price with them maybe, and they can find like cheaper price in Europe.
All right, so we've just come from Saigon Center. We walked down the street a little bit. We're going to go to Walking Street. But Kim has pointed out something that I didn't know about. So if we look over here, you can see Bunny Bar, Snug, something called W. And if we just go around the corner, it's Pasteur Street. It's got a bit of a reputation. These are called girly bars, where you basically go and you buy a drink for a pretty lady and she'll hang out with you. They're not strip clubs. I don't know. I'm married. I've never actually been, but I've heard enough about them. I
Yeah.
assume you've never been. But what Kim has pointed out, which is cool, is what's
Interesting.
above them. So what is above these girly bars?
Yeah, the girly, but which number 42 here?
Yeah.
So if you walk up to the stair, you will see so many shops for young people, normally Gen Z.
Not me.
Yeah, not you. Me.
You. All right. Well, so is this quite new?
It's quite new.
Yeah.
But like you will see like the interesting thing in here, like this the old building,
Yeah.
but like now like they just do it for business. Not many people like stay in this area.
It used to be houses.
Yes, it used to be houses.
And I say this a lot about Saigon. Adrie's already given me a dirty look, but what I love about Saigon especially is the juxtaposition. Adrie's like cringing already, but I do love it. We've come from Ben Thanh Markets, beautiful Saigon Center, then girly bars, but then it's in this beautiful building.
Yeah.
And shops that you wouldn't even realize. So let's go in and have a check out. Let's check out the Gen Z shops.
over here on the left side. On the shop for young people. Ding ding.
I love you keep stressing it's for young
I know.
people. Not for you, for young people.
I'm sorry, Neil. But how old are you?
Oh, you know how old I am. So we've come up to the shops that Kim told us were for young people, only for Gen Z, and just despite her, I have bought a shirt. And Lewis has also bought a shirt as well.
And look at what I get.
Kim's getting a bag.
Ding ding.
This is a cool part of Saigon. Thank you, Kim, for bringing us here. There are all these little boutiques and markets like all around Saigon that you don't even know exist, and then you'll randomly find them. If you're tall in Saigon, you've got to watch out. All right, on to the famous walking street now, which is now just another hop, skip and a jump.
So just go forward is Nguyen Huệ Street. We are in Nguyen Huệ.
How do you say it?
Nguyen Huệ.
That's it, see, listen to her. What's the worst pronunciation you've heard somebody use in Vietnam, apart from me?
Louis, I guess.
Lewis! What's Lewis said? How can you remember something that he's mispronounced so badly?
Lên lội, he always say lên lội. Before, he always say lên lội.
That's not that bad.
I think he tried to annoy me or something.
Probably asked for a bumbo view or something.
And if you are coming to Vietnam, remember it's pho, not pho. That's the one that I cringe the most at.
I knew an English girl. She said, "Oh, let's go for bumbo instead of pho."
My favorite one though is Kim. How do you say butter?
Bơ,
How do you say avocado?
bơ,
How do you say beef?
bò.
That one's a little bit different.
Many hotel and restaurant around here, but not have this area. It's this area like, I remember a long time ago when I look at the old picture of my dad took for me.
Yeah.
This is have like they put the statue of like Ho Chi Minh or some kind of like the old king before.
All right, so this is Nguyen Huệ Walking
Yeah.
Street. It leads all the way up to beautiful old French building, which is the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee building.
That's a government
The
by
government building, basically,
Government
like the
building.
government of Ho Chi Minh City. Statue of Ho Chi Minh up there. That way is the river, and if Lewis turns around, they're setting up a stage in the middle
can't see.
for the TikTok shop. As you'll notice, if we look straight up here, there's almost nobody here. It's not too hot right now because it's nearly 2 o'clock, right? And
nearly 3, I think.
half 2. There's no real shade, no real trees. And as I've talked about on previous videos, Vietnamese people generally don't come out during the day, which makes sense because it's bloody hot. So it is quite empty, but if you come here at night, it will be packed full of young Vietnamese people on skateboards with pets, hanging out.
My
There'll
skin
be
is
food
like chocolate.
carts, there'll be dogs, there'll be stalls. So if you are coming through here during the day and there's nobody here, don't be too disappointed. It's just too hot. But one of the coolest things about Walking Street is right here. I'm going to show you one of the coolest buildings on Walking Street. All right, so if you want to go to the coffee shops up above, you got to go to 42 Nguyen Huệ Walking Street. So you can either get the lift, which how much do you have to pay for the lift?
5K, I think.
5K, which is like 20 cents. Or you can just walk up for free. So I don't think we're going to walk up because we're cheap. It's just easier. And it's a way better experience walking up than getting a lift. So we are here at Percent Coffee, which the symbol is percent, but it's called Arabica. But the point is, and we did this when we first came to Saigon, you do need lots of breaks. So as you've seen from this video, we've kind of stopped several times along the way. We've dove into Saigon Centre to get some aircon. We've not even come that far, but it is really hot. But you can feel the temperature coming down already. It's nearly 3 o'clock. We're only about halfway through. There really isn't like a huge amount to do in downtown Saigon, but there is stuff to do, and we're showing you the basics of it in this video. In the next episode, we're going to show you what to do outside of Saigon. So make sure you drink lots of water, have your sunscreen on, wear a hat if you have one, bring an umbrella, take lots of breaks as well. Make sure you stop for a coffee or a beer, and we'll show you where to go for some of those places next. But right now, we're inside, we're taking a break, we're all pretty tired. You can probably see the sweat on my face, but make sure you rest and go back out and enjoy Saigon. Alright, we're back out on Nguyen Walking Street. They're getting ramped up for tonight, or 2 days. So we're going to walk up Walking Street now, and we're going to go to check out the Ho Chi Minh City People Committee's building, which is one of the most beautiful buildings in Saigon, old French colonial building, and the famous statue of Ho Chi Minh himself. It gets tiring doing this. It's hot, it's noisy, it's cars and bikes. Like I said, you do need to take lots of rest, but it's fun. Saigon is an awesome city. It's pretty crazy. Your best thing to do is join a walking tour if you're only going to be here for a day. Join a food tour at night. You can go check out loads of my past podcasts where I've talked about the best places for happy hour, best places for craft beer and cocktails, and all of that stuff. Join one of the explore tours as well. It means you get to see as much as you can in a short amount of time, because obviously I know exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing. So now you start to see it's getting a little bit busier, the sun's gone down, it's not as hot as it was. Oh, I'm getting tired already. I think it's going to be time for a happy hour beer soon. Well, let's go up and see the People's Committee building. So this is the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee building. They actually have knocked down most of the old buildings here. So there's not many left. And it makes sense because, you know, they don't have attachment here to old French colonial buildings. So now we're outside the Opera House. And next to the Opera House is a really famous hotel, the Hotel Continental Saigon, that was here during the war era. And actually, Graham Greene, he wrote The Quiet American in this hotel. I would recommend reading that book, it's really good. Really good wartime love story. And then you got the Opera House, which is another beautiful building right next to the Caravel Hotel. And then shows you how far Vietnam has come. Right next to Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Hermes, Patek Philippe, which I don't even know what that sells. There's a Bentley store around the corner. So it's a really interesting time in Saigon where you have this difference of obviously lots of poor people, people without much, but then like really rich brands, which are not just for tourists, they're for Vietnamese people as well. You'll mostly see Vietnamese people in these places. And then another thing I'd recommend to do when you're in Saigon, if you have the time, looking for something to do in the evening, go to the AO show, which is also known as the Vietnam Bamboo Circus. It's kind of like Vietnamese Cirque du Soleil. Lots of aerobatics and gymnastics, I guess you call it. It's really cool. And yeah, really Vietnamese. I've actually had the director of that show on the podcast before, Tuan Le. You can go back, check that episode out. He was a juggler and went all over Europe, toured with some of... He actually worked with Cirque du Soleil, which was really cool. And now he puts on this. We've been to it in the Opera House, so I would definitely recommend checking that out. And then this is Dong Khoi Street, which used to be called Cadenat, Rue Cadenat, when the French had a hold on Saigon. That's why the coffee shop is called Cadenat Coffee. So that's now called Dong Khoi, and they changed all the street names in Saigon. A lot of them are named after generals like Le Duan, and then they have other ones named after famous Vietnamese soldiers or famous Vietnamese women. Hai Ba Trung is one of them. So they've only retained, I think, 6 or 7 street names of non-Vietnamese people. So like Calmet, Yersin, Pasteur, These are all Western names or non-Vietnamese names, and they've retained those names because of their cultural significance, which is pretty cool. And the Continental is a beautiful hotel. I've actually never been in there. But it's cool to get that sense of history. I actually got into disrepair and it wasn't good for a long time. And then a few years ago they modernized it and redeveloped it, so it looks really nice now. You should come here for a drink sometime. But this is stop again on the tour when you're going through Saigon. So you've got to go Ben Thanh Market, then Saigon Square, Saigon Center, have a break, have a stop, go to the walking street, and then after the walking street, go check out the Opera House. And then the next thing you're going to go check out is the post office, which sounds weird, right? Like, why are you going to a post office? It's on the main route you've got to go. So go check out the post office. We're going to go do it now. It's a beautiful building. It's still a working post office. Anytime I need to send any mail home or anything like that, that's where I go, because the staff speak a bit of English because they deal with tourists all the time. But it is a beautiful building. I'm laughing because one of the attractions to see is a picture of Ho Chi Minh, of course. They do love Ho Chi Minh. But this is the modern Saigon. So you have Tiffany & Co, Dior, right next to this beautiful French colonial building, which is the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee. Luckily, we actually have a green light, so we can cross the road uninterrupted, but you can see how crazy the traffic gets here. So we're going to walk down Dong Khoi, and then we're going to go to the post office, and then we're going to go to the cathedral, which you're going to sadly see is under reconstruction, renovation. It has been for several years now, and it will hopefully be finished soon. And it's just a church, to be honest, but it's on the route, so let's go. So I've had to walk ahead from the group. I lost them. They're coming right behind me, but as you might be able to see, there's dark skies coming, which at this time of day, this time of year, means only one thing, means it's going to be raining soon. So I'm powering on ahead to make sure we can try and go to everywhere that we said we were going to go. So I'm about to come up to the post office, which, again, it's kind of like a weird thing. This is how it's weird when you're in Saigon. You're like, what do I do? Go to the post office? It's kind of weird, but it is a cool building. There's coffee shops right next to it if you want to stop and have a break, which, as I've said, you will need a break. It does get tiring, but it's a beautiful building. So let's go in and check out the post office. If today's journey through Saigon is inspiring your travel plans, Explore offers the Walking in Vietnam tour that includes Hoi An, How Long Bay, and finishes with a walking tour of Saigon, including some of these must-see landmarks that I've shared with you today, like Ben Thanh Market, the Opera House, and it even includes a guided food tour to taste the very best of Saigon's food scene, which I can tell you is amazing. So head to exploreworldwide.com to book your Saigon city adventure today. And then it is right next to the Notre Dame Cathedral, which has been under renovation for years. You can't even see it. And to be honest, there's not even much to see anyway. It's a cathedral. And it kind of looks like Notre Dame, I think. So that's what it's called. But this is nearly the last stop on the route. The heavens are going to open soon. You can probably imagine at this time of year in Saigon, it is rainy season. And when the rain comes, it comes big. So I think it's going to be time to do my biggest recommendation, and that's find a happy hour beer somewhere, which I know there's a couple of places near here. I've lost Lewis, Kim and Adrie because they've gone off. They're off for a happy hour beer and I'm going to join them soon. But the last stop is somewhere that we've actually never been to. So we've been here 9 years since our first visit, and we've not been to this place because we've heard such bad things about it. And that stop that we just did when we went for coffee, we bumped into some colleagues of Adrie's and some friends, and we sat down, we had a bit of a chat, and we mentioned how we were going to go past this place, and they were like, oh, you don't really need to go, there's nothing to do, and it's pretty weird, and the tours are rubbish, and it doesn't tell you anything. And so what's our last stop on the tour is the Independence Palace, is I believe one of the names it goes by. I can't remember another name. That's how I know it, the Independence Palace. And this is where the tanks rolled up Les Juan and they broke down the gates, and this signaled the end of the Vietnam War, or American War of Atrocities, depending on what you call it, the Civil War between the North and the South. The North One, they took over Saigon. They went up this street that I'm walking up right now, and the tanks went through the gates, knocked it down, and essentially took over Saigon. And that was April 30th, 1975. That's when a lot of refugees left. That day or afterwards, that's when you might have seen some of the footage of the helicopters leaving from the top of the American embassy, which is just down that way, the French embassy, the British embassy, they're all on this street. And that was when everyone had to get out of Dodge and get out of Saigon, essentially. So we're about to walk up right now. Well, I'm walking up Les Juan Street right now. I'm going to show you the Independence Palace. The rains haven't started yet, which is actually quite surprising. I thought it would have rained by now. So if you are coming to Saigon, look at the weather. I've had people ask me, when should I come to Saigon? If it rains, if it's rainy season, should I just miss it completely because it's going to be a washout? Short answer is no. If it does rain, which it might soon, it will rain mostly normally, sometimes for longer, but mostly only for half an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's going to be really heavy and then it's going to go off. It may cause some flooding, which may cause some problems in places that flood, like Taudine, the expat area, but there are other areas that flood. But generally, it's not going to ruin your day. You just get out, you go inside, or you don't get out. You just go inside, get away from the rain, go for a beer, go for a drink, do what you got to do, wait till the rain goes off, and then when you come out, it's generally much cooler, which is nice. Right now, it's pretty humid, I'm pretty hot. So the rain can be good. But if you are planning your trip, rainy season does go from about May until December. So those are the best times to come when it's cooler. It gets cool in December, which is really nice. It's quite tolerable then. But then from like February up to May, it just gets hotter and more humid to the point where it's almost unbearable and you cannot wait for the rainy season. So that's the dry season. And so no rain, but the closer you get to April, May, it's just going to get more and more humid, more and more unbearable. So just be careful about that when you are planning your trip. If you come in the northern summer, it's going to be rainy season, but it's not going to ruin your trip at all. So last stop on this walking tour, which has been hot, it has been humid, it is a little bit exhausting, is the Independence Palace, where the tanks rolled up Les Juan, knocked down the gates, and basically signaled the end of the war. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Only me not drinking beer.
Last stop on the Saigon day tour, you got to finish with a beer. Unless you're Kim, who doesn't drink beer.
This is a great spot to do it.
This is a great spot to do. Right up that way is the Independence Palace, where I've just come from, where I had to ditch these guys. It is hot, it is sweaty. I don't know if you can see my face. A beer is essential. Go back and check out some of my other videos where I've told you where the best places to go for craft beer. Obviously, Saigon, you can get cheap beer on every street corner almost as well. But go check out some craft beer, the best happy hours. Go check out those other videos.
It's happy hour.
It's happy hour now. So right now we're at O Park, right next to Propaganda, which is one of the first places we ever went to in Saigon. Does amazing food like Cum Tam. You're going to pay about 3 times more than you would on the street, but it's probably 3 times cleaner, so that's a big difference. So today we've done Ben Thanh Market, Saigon Square, Saigon Center. What's the name of those? Just the
Cafe apartments.
Cafe apartments.
42. Don't talk to
42 Nguyen. We went to 42.
Don't talk to
That one. And 42 Nguyen. Then we did Nguyen Street. Then I ran ahead to do the Opera House and the post office before it started raining. It's not even started raining yet. And then finished with the Independence Palace. That's a kind of normal route for a day in Saigon.
Yeah.
And I think you forgot the cathedral, but it's under.
I did forget the cathedral because
under
it's so
construction.
unforgettable and it has been under construction for a long time. Is there anywhere else in Saigon that you think we should go, or anything else that you would tell tourists?
There's definitely more museums. The War Remnants museums are pretty harrowing, but good one. Prepare yourself if you're going there. Ho Chi Minh City Museum's cool, and the art museum's a really interesting building, and it's supposed to be haunted.
And maybe try some Vietnamese street food.
Yeah, it's still during the day, but when it gets dark, definitely go out for street food.
I would add the newly redone waterfront, which a few years ago was just not a place you would go. Now you can go to the waterfront. There's a lovely park there, coffee shops, and then you can get the water bus. You can get on it. You don't have to get off. You can if you want to, and you have a nice view of the city from there. And then you can come back. So I would add that.
I think the big thing with Saigon Central, right? Everything we've described is pretty much all you need to do, right? I think you can do Saigon in a day.
Yeah,
I was just thinking,
just take
though,
one.
people would say
That
do
in maybe one,
do
though.
Saigon in a day, but I think you're much better giving yourself at least 2 days, because as you can see, we all live here and the heat still takes it out of you. So you can take it at a slower, more relaxed pace. You can see a little bit more. With 2 days, you didn't actually enjoy the city more. You can come and do the greatest hits in a day, but you'll be exhausted. And you might be like, yeah,
The greatest hits, that is what
yeah,
it is.
that Saigon was cool, but actually if you give yourself 2 days, then you get to experience the food and the vibrancy and the restaurants and a little bit of the nightlife a little bit more, and I think you'll feel like you need to come back to Saigon after that, so be careful.
Especially with all the street food and coffee options. Definitely can't do all that in a day.
Well, so I think the thing is, and obviously if you have listened to my podcast, you know, we've kind of shared our story. We made the decision to stay here after we'd been here for 6 weeks, and 8 years later we're still here. Part of the reason we made that decision to stay here is because we thought Saigon had so much more to offer. And so it is a bit of a paradox, because if you're a tourist, you can do this city in a day. But it's a big, massive city, and like even today you took us to those clothes shops. We never knew they existed. We bought stuff. There's so many things that you don't even know exist. We found a cocktail bar last night that we never knew existed. There's so much coffee, there's so much food. I mean, we've been here 8 years and we still never stop exploring and finding new things. So I don't want to put it down that you can do it in a day. You could stay for 8 years and you still wouldn't have done it all. But I think as a tourist, most people, you can just spend a couple of days here to do the main, I like that, the greatest hits.
And most people are here as well, right? Will take an extra day to either go to the Kuchi tunnels or take a day trip to the Mekong Delta, which I think, depending on your interests, maybe both of those are important. Definitely Mekong Delta. I think it's really interesting to see that massive body of water and all of the agriculture around it.
Thank you very much to all my guests and friends today who I abandoned for part of it. Adrie, Kim, and Lewis, who are all a massive part of a Vietnam podcast. And thank you very much to Explore Worldwide for partnering with this series. It's really exciting for me to bring you Vietnam. And if you do want to book a tour, make sure you go check out exploreworldwide.com. All right. Thank you very much. We're all going to go enjoy these beers. Cheers. Ma hai ba yo.